Girlfriend of England star John Stones has reposted a so-called anti-vax message on Instagram after FIFA urged all footballers to get the COVID jab. Beauty clinic boss Olivia Naylor reposted a clip from NBA basketball star Jonathan Isaac, who claimed he'd be protected from the virus by natural immunity. Isaac said that because he's had COVID and is fit and young and doesn't need the vaccine and doesn't want to risk it in an adverse reaction. Naylor responded to the post by writing perfectly spoken. This comes after The Sun reported over the weekend that 5 England footballers have not been jabbed after giving nonsense reasons for refusing it. One footballer claimed he is too young and fit to be affected by the virus, and another has bought into conspiracy theories, according to the newspaper. The news threatens to derail the Three Lions' preparations for the Qatar World Cup, which start next November. Gareth Southgate and the FA face a potentially calamitous situation as organisers of the tournament plan to ban all players who aren't jabbed. Now, Esther Kraku, I have a real issue, as I said in my digest at the start of the show, about this constant witch hunt that we're dealing with in society at the moment. The Strictly Come Dancing professionals. Now it's the England Lions.
And it's always young and fit people as well. Which really, it makes sense. I mean, if it was someone in a high-risk category, a diabetic who was in her 60s, for instance, you'd be like, it's probably not the best choice where risk assessment is involved, but I understand it's your choice still. But for people that are really at very low risk, and for even that basketball player that has natural immunity, you know, this thing called an immune system that we've had since the beginning of time, just leave them alone. Why are people so obsessed? If you're so worried about getting the virus yourself, that's the point of taking the vaccine, to protect yourself.
But Esther,
so just leave them alone.
Esther, everyone's healthy until they're not.
That's not your problem, though.
Take, for example, we're talking about incredible...
So do you believe in mandatory vaccination?
I believe that these people are wrong to refuse the vaccine and shouldn't be on the England football team.
Vaccination?
I don't believe that the law should say that you have to get it. I believe there should be consequences for your choice.
But you just believe in publicly shaming them on national television?
Oh, it's not public shaming. This is them taking consequences.
That's exactly what it is,
May I just say?
No, it isn't. I'll tell you what. Qatar...
They're on the front page of newspapers.
Okay, so Qatar, that is hosting the World Cup in 2022, it is set to announce a ban on unvaccinated players. Now, if that happens, that will decimate the English team. Now, you know, I think you've got to ask those players. You know, but let me just tell you some of the reasons they were coming up with today. Because apparently their dressing rooms are awash with anti-vax mental theories. One of them is that it makes them infertile. This is what they believe.
That's not true.
Well, we know that, but they don't know that, so they believe. The other one is that Bill Gates is going to get into their brain. Not
well, that's not.
No, but hang
on, let me finish the point. This is what they think. But I think the English players have got to be asked: do you want to represent your country at the World Cup next year? And if you do, get vaccinated.
But Carol,
if you don't, stand aside.
That will be the choice that they have to make. But I'm sorry, where I come down very strongly on this is that Olivia Naylor, who's this partner of John Stones, so people are linking John Stones now to this term anti-vax. I'm sorry, what she responded to, this Orlando Magic basketball player, Jonathan Isaacs, was not an anti-vax message.
No, but
he said that he had COVID in the past, he has antibodies, and with his current age group and his fitness level, it's not necessary.
That is anti-vax.
How is that anti-vax?
Because he's saying he's not getting the vaccine, so therefore that is anti-vax.
Well, he didn't actually say that.
Well, if he's saying that, well, that is certainly the implication.
Not getting the vaccine for himself.
He is talking about being a fit, healthy young sports person, which I don't doubt he is. Well, I tell you what, Tom Daley is now a gold medal winner. He was hospitalised with COVID 7 months before the Olympics, and he is a lot fitter than just about any other young person. And so that should be a warning to us.
Do you remember the fitness guy and the bodybuilder? He was a guy called John Ayres. He was super fit. He didn't get the vaccine because he thought he was fit and his own immune system would fight. He died. He died within
and I tell you what,
no one is disputing what you're saying. The point is that it should be their choice, and they shouldn't be shamed for it.
Choices have consequences, Esther.
Yes, but for their individual lives.
And I tell you what,
I tell you what you are doing, and it's what most of the media classes doing.
That's what you're saying,
because you are putting your newspapers. What you're saying is actually, if you are a high-profile figure and you don't want to take the vaccine, there should be a witch hunt against
your country in the World Cup in 2022, and Qatar says only vaccinated players will be allowed in, well, then you have a decision to make. And I think, personally, they'll be letting their country down. Let's not forget, Gareth Southgate, he advised all young people to get the vaccine not so very long ago. So if he's advising young people in general, why is not he advising his players to get it?
And let's be clear.
We know that if if you don't get the vaccine, it's unlikely you're going to be able to travel overseas. And arguably, that's why a lot of young people are going to be coerced into taking the vaccine. What my point is, Benjamin, is that actually what your type of messaging does is a disservice to the movement that you're actually pushing for. Because the more negative you are, the more that you talk about these people of anti-vaxxers, the more you try and do them down and say that they're stupid and make them out as extreme idiots, the more they become entrenched in their view not to trust someone like you and not to get vaccinated. So you are doing yourself a disservice.
And if you're so right, why can't you be more reasonable
These people that are buying into conspiracy theories, as you referred to the Sun claiming one of them had, they are being extreme. And do you know what? These people, these are footballers that will make millions upon millions of pounds from the fees of English fans that pay their wages through going to the games. And I tell you what, the only reason they can still play football is because tens of millions of us went out and got vaccinated and reopened the country.
So we could go watch them play.
So how selfish and irresponsible that they put that back in their face.
You're shaming
that they put that back in our face by not taking responsibility themselves.
You're shaming them.
And there's another part.
And do you not believe that we have a choice over what we put into our body?
These sports people spend all day, every day in the hands of doctors to be in the incredible fitness they are. Well, they trust them with everything else. And what a kick in the teeth for all those health professionals who spend their lives helping these people.
But this is the choice of their body.
I'm sorry, the argument that you're making is exactly the type of hysteria and moral panic that I was talking about in my digest. No, Benjamin, it's exactly the type of hysteria and moral panic I was speaking about in my digest, because you need to concede that there is a small risk from the vaccine.
I don't know about
as a previously healthy person, that can be scary. So actually, there are reasons to discuss
Let's get the
it.
facts. The risk is much higher from getting COVID than from getting COVID vaccine.
Exactly.
But there is a risk.
And do you not
still
think
of the
players
vaccine
have a responsibility to their country?
Yeah, but
they're getting paid mega bucks, not just to play for their teams, but to represent their country. Do you not think they have not just a social responsibility?
I don't think they should be shamed. But if we just extrapolate out what Benjamin's just said, OK, so there's more of a risk of them getting COVID than getting the vaccine, right? But the basketball player who John Stones' girlfriend was retweeting had COVID, so already had natural immunity.
And we know that you should get the vaccine if you want to guarantee your protection.
So you don't want to actually have a discussion about it, do you?
But you're basing your discussion on something that's happened in America. We're talking about what's happening here in our World Cup team.
No, because this has become an issue because John Stones' partner, Olivia Naylor, praised this post from the American basketball player, and he's very famous.
How did she praise it? Tell me what she said.
Perfectly put, I believe she
said perfectly put.
OK, so that's, she's not really gone into massive. She's just done a thing.
Yeah, but that's what sparked this whole story, and that's what has sparked the shaming of this woman, who, by the way, doesn't have a public profile.
How can you search for a comment by a person on some like famous basketball player's thing and say, oh, you've just literally given her a political ideology. You've stamped her with it just because she left a comment.
Well, she's irresponsible.
And look, not irresponsible.
When you say she doesn't have a profile, she does. She's on Twitter. So she does have a profile. And she has a high profile because she's the girlfriend of John Stones. So she does.
Why has she been irresponsible, Benjamin?
Well, she's been irresponsible because she endorsed someone saying that they didn't need to get the vaccine, and that is not helping anybody. And you know what? Sovereign nations...
He has natural immunity.
Which is a thing, by the way.
Okay,
and we know the best...
You don't believe in science, do you?
Hang on. We know for a fact that the best way to protect yourself is to get your 2 shots of the vaccine. That is the best and longest lasting way.
The best way to protect yourself, actually, is if you've got natural immunity.
Well,
that provides the best protection from COVID. It is,
It's not, because some people won't get natural immunity, they'll die. So let's not get COVID.
If these players actually believe, and they are buying the anti-vax stories, that A, it makes them infertile, and B,
which is absolutely hilarious.
If only they had a...
Let me finish. They have to be talked to about this, and then let them make a decision based on proper knowledge.
I agree
not
with
on
that.
This nonsense.
What I'm saying is blasting them on the front page of newspapers, shaming them as anti-vaxxers for a decision that they've made about their own body is counterproductive, because it just makes folk like them far
so should it
less
just
likely
be ignored
to
then?
get jabbed.
And then when they get banned by Qatar and they can't go there, it's going to be a story then.
No, I don't think it should be ignored. But I think these are there are conversations that need to be had. But I don't think the tone of the conversation is the right one.
You know this is a story. You know it is, because it could mean that our team is decimated.
No, it's a story
for the World Cup.
Absolutely.
So
it's a story that they're not allowed to go to the World Cup. No, it's a story that they're allowed to go to the World Cup. I am attacking the shaming nature, and that is what the coverage of this has been.
They should be ashamed.
I'm not saying it's not a story, but well, I don't think they should be ashamed.
They should be ashamed because they let their country down, as Carol so rightly said. They let themselves down. They let their teammates who they're in close contact with. They let their doctors down, and they let England
of
down.
Folk like you that is actually encouraging the anti-vax rhetoric, because you are not prepared to have a healthy scientific conversation.
A healthy scientific conversation ends in getting the vaccine.
Because he's actually saying it's better to have the vaccine than have natural immunity, which is just scientifically unproven. He just said that.
But it is, because you get the added consequence when everyone gets the vaccine that everyone has it, and you
natural immunity has no role to play in
the amount that it is
COVID.
spreading.
What happens to your immune system? Okay, in your opinion, what role does your immune system and natural immunity have in combating COVID?
What
role though? Because it doesn't sound like it has any role. Because even if he said he has natural immunity, that has been completely glossed over. Because for you, he doesn't have the jab. He doesn't have the jab. He doesn't. Okay, so what role does natural immunity play?
Because natural immunity, there's no one's disputing that will give you a level of immunity.
So then why get jabbed as well?
Because when you're spreading that message, you are telling people that they don't need to get it. You're telling people, therefore, that they will risk getting it in the hope of
so-called it's not about the science, it's about the message.
Let me finish my statement.
Got it. It's about the science, not about...
But they won't. They'll get seriously sick, and they might get long COVID. And I tell you what, if one of these players gets long COVID, they won't be playing football anytime soon.
You're literally... We're talking about someone who's got natural immunity, so they will either have long COVID.
But I'm pointing out that man is lucky to have just got immunity. When he's recommending that as a healthy answer,
it's about the
that isn't the science.
I understand that. Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.